Hello, and welcome to the Sci-Fi Christian.
I'm Ben DeMono. You forgot to say your name, man.
I'm Ben Anderson.
We're very rushed today. We
Yeah.
got 10 minutes till the beginning of our movie.
Alright, we have to go right now. Anyways, we're about to go see Green Lantern. Ben, you've been wanting to see this for months.
Well, I really want to see it tonight, man.
Well, the sci-fi community needs us to watch it.
This is a labor of love.
So let's quickly give our predictions, and then let's head off to the movie. I predict it's going to be a 2.
I'm going to be a little more optimistic, say 3.
Alright, well, here's what I know. We're watching this on Monday. It came out 3 days ago.
Yeah.
It was #1 Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but between the, I think, Friday showing and Saturday, or Saturday and Sunday, something like that, the gross, or whatever they make, dropped by 22%. Did you hear about that?
I did.
So word of mouth is doing a bad thing for this movie.
The only reason I'm saying a 3 is because I got really low expectations,
Yes.
and I'm hoping that because I'm not expecting much,
Yeah.
maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised.
I am thinking that the reason we need to see this is, first of all, we need to put up a review while it's timely. Secondly, we have an upcoming podcast that...
State of the Superhero movie.
Yep.
We did an earlier one, and now we're going to do a second one.
After Captain America comes out in July.
Yeah, exactly.
So we have to see this for the sake of the sci-fi Christian community.
Yeah, we were this close to actually not going
Tonight. We almost decided not to, but we gotta go, Ben. Let's go. So
Alright.
we'll be back.
Goodbye.
Well, we're back. Ben? It's about almost 11:15. We went to a later showing and... Oh,
Oops.
man. Oopsalon. So...
That was horrible.
Yes.
2 weeks in a row of crappy movies, Matt.
I don't know what to say. We're not surprised.
I didn't think it was going to be that bad.
I've heard so many bad things about it. I pretty much knew it was going to be that bad.
Really?
Yeah.
I was a little surprised.
So on the way here, back to my place, you asked,
Yeah.
what did you like better, Super 8 or Green Lantern?
Because last week, if you remember, neither of us liked Super 8
No,
at all.
I actually gave it a 1,
I think I gave it 1.5.
and I predicted Green Lantern would be a 2. What's your rating now of Green Lantern?
I'm going to have to put it at a 2. And the reason is because there is some cool elements in there. It doesn't make a great movie. I think Sinestro was probably a pretty interesting character, so I think you could make a good Green Lantern movie. And the elements are there, so I'm going to give it a 2 because of that. Which one would I rather watch again? Probably Super 8.
Oh my gosh, we are thinking exactly the same time. I'm going to stick with my 2 rating.
Yeah.
Because the fact that it's a superhero movie, that puts it over the edge for me. Plus, like you said, there's some interesting elements. But I would never want to watch this again.
No.
And I would be willing to watch Super 8 again because there's a lot of people that disagreed with us and said it was great. So even though my initial rating was a 1 for Super 8, I'm more willing to go back, watch that, and see, did I miss something? Or is there something deeper under the surface? Probably not, but...
Yeah, it's not on my list of movies to revisit, but I feel the exact same way. Because so many people loved it. If I had to watch one of those again, it would definitely be Super 8 before this one.
Almost positive I will never watch Green Lantern again.
Why would you? Should we break this down a bit?
Let's break it down, but let's not waste too much of our life again with this. But
this will be a short review.
So
Ryan Reynolds,
horrible. So
horrible.
Ryan Reynolds, probably the only movie I've seen him in that I thought he was good in, and I don't think you saw this, but The Proposal was funny.
I didn't see it.
Sandra Bullock, funny movie. I think he's a good comedic actor, but he is not heroic. He cannot be a superhero. He was bad. Yeah,
now I really haven't read the comics, so I don't know if this was a good representation of Hal Jordan, but there was nothing likable about his character. Horrible character.
Yeah, I have not read, I don't know if I've ever read any Green Lantern comics. I've probably read him in comics before. From what I gather, this is not what he's supposed to be like. Yeah, so we'll give the comics the benefit of the doubt. I could be wrong, though. But yeah, he was just a shallow character. Actually, all the characters in this movie, the character development was terrible. Oh my gosh. Well, and if you look at the main relationship between Carol Ferris and Ryan Reynolds' character, Hal Jordan, the first thing we see Green Lantern in, he wakes up after sleeping with probably an anonymous one-night stand girl. Yeah. We never see her again. No. It just shows he obviously is irresponsible, doesn't really have any sort of relationship with anybody else. Yeah. Then we see him kind of interacting with this girl who It's a longtime friend played by Blake Lively.
I think that's her name, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they go to the bar and they're all into each other. Yeah. They seem to have some past.
Even though she was furious at him for the whole thing with the Jets.
Yeah, the relationship developed out of nowhere, and then they're super in love by the end. And this movie probably takes place over the course of 3 days.
Something like that. Kind of like Thor, where, I guess this is the thing to do in movies this year.
Yeah.
Undying love forms within 3 days.
Yeah.
But I think it was about the time where we got to the scene in the bar that I turned to you, Matt, and said, "Can we leave?"
Yeah, it must have been about 20 minutes in, and you really legitimately wanted to leave.
I wanted to leave.
And fake a review.
I have a confession to make to the sci-fi Christian audience. I suggested to Matt that we pretend as though we had seen the movie and fake the review for all of you out there. So there's my confession. I was only half serious about that part, but I was dead serious. I wanted to leave the theater.
Yeah, and you also had mentioned, and I agree, that audience, you owe us one on this one. We went just for you. We would have never seen this if it wasn't for you guys.
To quote Jaime Lannister in A Game of Thrones, "The things I do for love."
Exactly.
Yeah.
So don't see it. That's what this whole review
is a warning.
about.
Now, we do have to talk about what I dubbed, as we were leaving the theater, the most unintentionally hilarious villain ever.
I mean, in a way, I think they must have tried to make it funny, because the breathing, the creepy staring, just the random things he did. The best one was where he had his alcoholic beverage and he just leaned over, he did not use his hands. It was...
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and it's like part one of his evil plan. Embarrassing people at parties.
Yep.
Part 2, sitting in a car and breathing heavily.
Yeah.
Part 3, touching someone.
And
I know your memories.
Yeah, what? How's that gonna help?
And that's it.
You know, speaking of him, how people started approaching him after his head had grown larger. What was his name, by the way? Do you even know his name?
Hector
Hammond. Yes, alliteration. His head was 15 times larger.
No one acknowledges it.
For the first few times, it was bad until his dad finally was like, "We'll fix you," and they never really said, "Hey, what happened to your head?"
But they walk up to him like, "Hey, bro!"
Yeah, like, come on. Same thing with Green Lantern. Worst disguise ever.
Oh, yeah.
He has a piece of cloth covering his eyes, and he's supposed to be hidden from the world.
Now, I do have to give the movie credit that they at least acknowledged that was kind of ridiculous.
Well, okay, so Carol Ferris sees him on the balcony, kind of approaches him, doesn't at first recognize him, which I think is understandable, because you're not going to... If a superhero landed on my balcony and it was you, I wouldn't jump to the conclusion it's you.
You probably would, because he'd have a ponytail. And
yeah, that's true.
I think I'd be fairly recognizable with the green mask on.
Even Ryan Reynolds, it was totally him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how could she... Anyways, she finally gets close, stares at him, and realizes, so you're glad that they acknowledged costume, not a very secret identity?
Yeah. That was a good move on their part. One other thing with Hector Hammond, when Parallax shows up at the end and kills him, he says to him, "You have failed me." What exactly was it that Parallax had wanted him to do?
He wanted him to get rid of the Green Lantern. He told him, through some sort of mind message, "Oh, wait a second. We did not bring up an important scene with Hector Hammond."
When they're snuggling on the floor?
No, it was right before that.
Oh.
So he's about to destroy all these government people, including his father.
Yeah.
When all of a sudden, out of the window, comes Green Lantern, out of nowhere. And you and I were both like, wait a second.
There's no possible way he could have known where Hector was, or even known that Hector was a threat.
Yeah, but I thought about it a little bit, and I think that the only explanation is, when the ring kind of beeps, there's something bad happening?
Yeah.
The only explanation is if the ring literally took him there. Which we hadn't seen him use that ability any other time, except for when it took him to Oa.
That was clearly not established in the movie. If it was established in the comics, I'll give it a little bit of a pass, and somebody can let us know if that's the case, but it was not established in the movie.
He was sitting at the dock where he found Abin Sur. He's kind of looking out. I think his ring did glow a few times, maybe indicating it's about to take him someplace. Possibly. But otherwise, if you're not paying close attention, Green Lantern appears out of nowhere in that fight. Oh, and the constructs he makes. Yeah. Did you think they were cool?
No.
I thought, you can make anything. He kept on going to guns. He made an airplane. He made a racetrack. I could be wrong, but I don't read the comics, so I don't know what his typical constructs are.
Yeah.
But it felt lame to me.
The racetrack was dumb.
It felt really lame.
The other thing, speaking of making constructs and battles, did you like how these hardcore, the best of the best Green Lanterns go against Pyrex? What was his name?
Parallax.
Parallax, not Pyrex. It's late. And die instantly.
Yes.
But new to the core, Hal Jordan is able to survive and defeat him.
I don't know how to explain that. Because there were an army of them that...
Well, I know how to explain it, Matt.
Oh, wait.
This guy spent a grand total of 30 seconds trading Hal Jordan.
We've got Kilowog here, and at the end, he's like, do I know how to train him, or do I know
totally takes credit for it. It's like, bro, you spent 30 seconds with him.
Hey, let's talk about some of these guys. So, give me some impressions. Kilowog, what did you think of him?
Oh, he was stupid. He was really annoying. I thought it was so much better when Sinestro... I like Sinestro, so it was way better when he started taking over.
What did you think about Tomar Ray?
Nothing.
Fish guy?
He made no impression on me whatsoever.
Alright.
He was completely unmemorable.
Okay, let's talk about Sinestro then, because I would say...
By far the best thing in the movie.
By far the best character, and I'm going to spoil the comics here. So, if you have never read the comics and you want to, spoiler alert.
Okay.
Because I don't think there's going to be a sequel. I think it's safe to say there will not be a sequel. Sinestro ends up being one of the greatest villains against the Green Lanterns. Ooh. And the ring that they made, that yellow one, is kind of a signal to set up a future movie. Because he ends up using that to form... Well, he uses the fear power against the Green Lanterns, and he actually forms a Sinestro Corps to go against the Green Lantern Corps.
That would have been way more interesting than anything in this movie.
Well, actually, I mean, they set him up as such a good character, by far the best character in the movie.
Definitely.
That would be something worth seeing if they decided to go that way, but not with Ryan Reynolds.
No.
I'd rather, I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe with the new Justice League movie, they'll just get a new Green Lantern, hopefully.
Yeah, I hope so. What about his sidekick?
His friend?
Yeah.
I don't know if his friend exists in the comics.
We don't even know his name. That's how poorly developed the character was.
Yeah. He was fine.
Oh, no, he wasn't.
He was... I mean, he didn't do anything in the whole movie.
Oh, exactly. That's my point, is that he was a pointless, meaningless character.
Yes. All the characters were meaningless, essentially.
Okay, that's a fair point. So, no reason to pick on him above everyone else. I mean, okay.
Except for...
You got it.
They wrote all these lines that were trying to be funny, and especially with that guy, that in the audience just crickets.
Yeah.
Like the time he stood up and was like...
Woo! Our audience was laughing quite a bit.
Well, the people behind us were laughing at the movie with us.
Yes.
And the people in front of us, who I believe were young girls, were actually laughing at the movie.
So, if you are a 13-year-old girl out there, this is the movie for you.
I actually believe they might have wrote this for a younger audience than you would think.
Yeah.
Because you talked about, when we walked out, the script, horrible.
Horrible. It made no sense. Everything in this movie felt pointless and poorly developed. I cannot warn you away from it enough. Do not see this movie.
So right here, live on camera.
Are you going to rip it in half?
Let's do it together.
Okay.
This is what we think of Green Lantern.
Oh!
Why did you make that sound?
Should we do another one without the sound?
Yes, please. Okay. Here's what we think about the Green Lantern movie. Come on, we can do it.
Wow.
One more.
One more? Okay.
Don't see this movie. Okay, you go that way, I'll go this way.
Okay.
Yeah.
You tore off the corner, man.
Whatever. So, I don't know. We could complain it for probably another hour, but we're not going to.
No, it's wasted enough of our lives.
Alright, well, that's over here. Don't see it. I'm Matt Anderson.
I'm Ben DeBar.
And we're the Sci-Fi Christians, signing off.